A week ago, there was a user called Casa Prile or something like that. I hope I'm not gonna butcher the guy's username. He said that he has a problem creating a Grok pattern for suricata logs, and he gave here this example, which I'm gonna highlight right now. And most probably is because the Grok patterns in the pipeline didn't work as expected for him. And I can understand that because you have this square bracket, then what else you have here? The curly brackets, you have this arrow here. These are very difficult to parse with pipelines. If you remember some time ago, when I was doing the video for the pipelines and for the Grok Extractors, we have created some rules, or a rule for the NSA Firewall, which looks something similar to this. Like here you have your Grok pattern, and for example, if you would try to parse something like a square bracket or curly brackets or those arrows into here, you're gonna have issues. And let me show you what I mean by this. For example, if I would put here a backslash and then a square bracket, so I can escape the square bracket character, you can see immediately that I have tons of errors. Or for example, if I try to put a curly bracket, yeah, the error would persist. But when I would delete it, you'll see that it's error free. So you will have problems trying to parse this one using the example that I have shown you here. There is actually another way around it. Like for example, we can go to Grok Patterns, and here we will create a pattern. So let's take the example that our user had problems with. I have it here in this notepad. So I will take it from here and I will paste it right here. And then let's give it a name. Let's say suricata 1. And sorry, actually here goes the pattern, and our sample data to test it against will be here. So this is our sample data, this is our pattern. So for the first one, I can say something like percent and then 2 curly brackets. Between them we will gonna have a word, which is for suricata. And by the way, we already have some predefined Grok patterns here. So if I'm gonna look for a word, yeah, you can see it here. It already exists. Then I'm gonna do a colon, and then I'm gonna say IPS. And if I will test it right now, you can see that this field would be created with this value. So we were going to have the IPS field with the value suricata in it. Then we have some square bracket. So let's do a backslash, let's do a square bracket, another backslash, and another square bracket to close it. And the backslash is to escape the character which is in front, or sorry, which is after the backslash. Yeah, so I'm gonna say here number. By the way, number is already defined here. Yeah, so I'm gonna do number, then colon, and I'm gonna say unwanted. And the reason for this is that I don't really have any kind of use for this number. Yeah, so I will just say unwanted. If you want to have it, you need to replace unwanted with the name of the field that you want. And then I'm gonna do a colon, and I will do a space because we have a space between colon and the next square bracket. So right now I'm gonna do a backslash, the square bracket. Okay, I just entered another square bracket to close it, and I'm gonna put another backslash in front of it. Now I'm gonna have 3 numbers here separated by two columns. Yeah, so we were gonna do the same. We were gonna do number and unwanted, and here I did a mistake. I should have put %, then curly bracket, and I will need to close it with the curly bracket right now, and let's try to test it. Okay, something went wrong here. Okay, let's try to delete these ones really quick. Try to test it right now. Okay, so right now it works, and let's do the other ones. Okay, and here I'm gonna enter 3 times this one. So we were gonna have a number, the first number, which is 1, and we don't want that. Then column, we were gonna have the second number, which again we don't want it, and the third one, which is a 5, and of course we don't want that one as well. Yeah, so I'm gonna do a test, and you can see them appearing here. Even if you see it here like a base number, base 10 number, they will not gonna appear when you're actually gonna do it with the pipelines. Then we have some data. So I'm gonna do a space because we have a space between this E and the last square bracket that we have here. And I'm gonna say % to curly brackets, and then I'm gonna say data colon description. And the reason why I'm gonna put it like this is because if I will gonna put here word, it will pick only ET. It will not gonna pick the rest. So I'm gonna say data description. Then I'm gonna do a space because we have a space between use and this square bracket right here. And I'm gonna escape it. I'm gonna escape the square bracket with backslash again. And I'm gonna put it with classification and then colon, and then I'm gonna say, again, we have a lot of words, so we can use the same trick. We can copy this one from here, put it right here, and I'm gonna change the field name to classification. The next one is the priority value. So we will do the same, but this time with numbers. So I'm gonna take this one right here, and I will say instead of unwanted, priority, because we really want this number. Yeah. Okay, let's take it back. Let's take it a step backwards. Let's try to parse right now and see what happens. Okay, right now it works fine. So we have the description, we have the classification. Okay. Let's do the next one. Okay, I know what it went wrong. We should have put here priority and then colon. And we have a space between the column and the number. Yeah, and right now it works. You can see it here, field priority number 1. You need to be very careful at the spacing and the indentation, because if you're not going to do it correctly, it will not going to work. And the next one is TCP. This is the protocol. Yeah, let's escape these curly brackets again, and here we will put word, because we have a word side of it, and I'm gonna name it protocol and test it. So we have here everything. We have the IPS field, the description, classification, priority, and protocol. Then we need the IP addresses and the port numbers. I think this one, by the way that it looks, I think some kind of source IP address and source port. So I'm gonna do %, and then I'm gonna put those curly brackets and say IP colon source IP, src underscore IP, then followed by colon, and right now the port number. And let's do it like this. Let's copy, and right now we will modify it and say source port, src underscore port, then space, and then a backslash, minus, backslash, greater than, and the other IP and the other port, but we will copy it from here, and we will modify the src with DST for destination, and this one right here. Yeah, so let's try to test the data. So we will have the result. This is the IPS, this is the description, this is the classification, priority, protocol, source IP. Okay, these ones, again, they were not going to appear in the field when you parse them with the pipelines. This is the source port number, destination IP, destination port number. Okay, so it looks okay, and I think we can save it. This is how you can do it if you don't have the logs loaded or the sample data loaded into a stream, or it's not loaded into your Graylog system. This is one way to test. So I'm gonna just save this one. You know what, maybe I will send this pattern to the user in the comment that he posted, so he can try to take a look at it. Maybe it will help him. Okay, so I just gave him this pattern that we have parsed here. Let's save it. Maybe we will need to use it later. I have never worked with Suricata before, but a couple of days ago I installed pfsense machine into my test environment and to do some tests, and I have actually also installed Suricata as a service. I will try to generate some kind of logs into Graylog and see if we can catch it. So I will restart the Suricata service on pfsense, and hopefully this one will gonna generate some logs in here for us. And it actually did, if you can see it right here. Yeah? Let's just go to the pfsense stream. Here you can see something similar to what that user had, but it's just for restarting the service. There is nothing fancy, but let's try to parse these two messages, this one right here and this one right here. So I'm gonna do create a Grok Extractor, Grok Pattern for the first one, and for the second one I'm gonna do the same thing. Yeah. And we already have some data to work from the previous example, so I will go to Grok Patterns and I will check for the Suricata Grok pattern, if I can find it. Yeah, it's in here. So let's take this one and this one. Let's do it like this. Let's copy it. Let's get into this one. So here we have okay, the name IPS, and then we have the number. We also have it here. Here we have only one number. Our user had 3, so I'm gonna get rid of the first 2 and I'm gonna keep the third one. And then we have some kind of notice, and I will do it like this. I will say backslash smaller than, and at the end we will do a backslash greater than. Here I can see that we have just the word, a single word, so we can do word, and then we can say alert type. See how it looks like when we try to parse it. It looks like this: IPS Suricata, base number. This one will not gonna appear, and you're gonna see how it looks like close to the end of the video. Alert type notice. Then we have 2 minus signs. So I'm gonna do a backslash minus, and then space. And here we have some kind of description. So let's do this. Let's put data. Let's keep it to description. And here I will try to parse it and see how it looks like. Have the description here, and I think it looks okay. Yeah. Then we will do the other one, the other log. And here we will have the same thing. Yeah. You are able to parse it, so I'm not gonna do anything for this one. It looks okay. So I will take this pattern here, and let's call it Suricata 2. Let's create a pattern name Kata 2. Here we will put our pattern, and we will gonna click on save. And right now let's go and create a pipeline. Let's go to pipelines. Let's do a new pipeline, and this time let's call it pfsense, because it's from the pfsense stream description. Pfsense logs. Yeah. Okay, it's not connected to any kind of stream, so we will have to connect it to a stream, to pfsense. Click on save. We don't have any rules. We will need to create a rule right now for pfsense. So I'm gonna click on create rule. Description. This one is actually for Suricata, so I'm gonna just say Suricata rule. Okay, and in the rule source we will need to do our parsing and tell it what to do. So I'm gonna say rule 2 times quotes and say Suricata rule. Okay, and we will say here when, This one will gonna be quite similar to the previous pipeline that we did. Let me show you how it looks, the first pipeline, so you can compare it a little bit. Okay, so you can, let's put it side by side actually. So you can see here that says when, has the field this one. I can actually copy and paste just to be faster. And then I'm gonna say then. And here we will gonna do a let message field to string. Yeah, the same one. And then we will gonna do let suricata 1 space equal space, and then I'm gonna say Grok, and then two open brackets, and instead of pattern I will just put our previous pattern that we have defined. Let me show it to you. So let's go to Grok Patterns. Let's go to suricata. So I'm going to take suricata 1 from here and put it in this manner. I'm going to say quotes and then percentage, then two curly brackets, and in between say suricata 1. Then we will gonna do a comma. Actually, sorry, after the quotes, comma, space. And if we will gonna take a closer look at these strings, or at these ones, you're gonna see something changing here. So after the comma, some things will gonna change, and please pay attention to it. I'm gonna say true underscore string. Then I'm gonna do two open brackets, so other open brackets, and then I'm gonna say $, message dot message, and then comma, and I'm gonna say true. Now we will gonna end this line with a semicolon, hit enter, and then we will gonna do the same for suricata 2, the second Grok pattern that we have. So 2 here and 2 here. And if you actually pay attention to it, it says the same. Here we have the same value as we have in here. Yeah, so they are identical. Then let's start to finish these ones with set field. And I think they are the same, and they are with this one. So let's take 2, let's put them in here, and instead of ESA1 we were gonna put suricata 1 and suricata 2 here, and then we will simply gonna end it. I would say that this one is nice and easy, and you are more accurate, or a little bit more accurate, with your parsing. So let's try to save the rule, and then we will gonna go to manage our pipelines, and then we will do the pfsense pipeline, and here we will gonna click on edit. We will say that at least one of these rules on this stage matches the message, in case if you have more rules, and we can click on save here. Yeah, so let's try to go back to our stream, and I'm gonna go to the pfsense and restart the Suricata service. And right now, when we will look for the new result, we should already have the message, or the message is parsed. Yeah. So this one is parsed. You can see it here. Alert type, notice, IPS Suricata. This is your full message. This is your source. And this is the timestamp. And actually we are missing something. We don't have the description. Let me go back to the Grok patterns, and instead of putting a data here at the end, let's try to put greedy data. Greedy data. Then let's do the description. And then close it. And I will save it right now. Let's try to restart the Suricata service one more time on the pfsense and see how our new logs, they are coming in. They should come also with the description field right now, hopefully, and they do actually. Yeah, so we have this one and it says description in here. Greedy data, what actually means, it means that it will grab everything until the end of the line. But for example, if you would put something else after greedy data, then it will take it until that value that you have defined after the greedy data. But if you're going to simply leave it to greedy data, it will grab everything till the end. In our case, it grabs it from here until the end. Yeah, and it's the same here. You can see it here in the description. I hope that this video will gonna help you and makes more sense this way, I would say, and it's more easy to use it in the pipelines in this manner, because you don't have to worry about curly brackets or special characters. You can simply escape them with the backslash in front of them. And please don't forget that when you're using actually pipelines, you're going to save your CPU. When you start to use Grok Extractors, then your CPU will going to be utilized more. And if you have a lot of Grok Extractors, then most probably you're going to end up in the situation of choking your CPU. This concludes the video. In case if you like the video, please don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell icon to get notified when a new video is posted, and talk to you guys in the next one.